All right, YouTube. So today we got a different type of video topic today. So today we're gonna kind of go over what kind of constitutes a hit. So like when you make a hit song or when you got a song with a good bit of number of plays, what to do and what to do from that point as far as even if you're an artist or even a producer. So this kind of goes twofold. It works for both examples. So to begin with, I'll give you an example of like the first time I saw a hit, or the first time I made a hit, and then the first time I kind of found a person that I thought had the potential to make a hit. So the first song that I can think of off the top of my head that was like my first hit song was "Backseat Shawty" with Elsie Levi. So that was like one of the very first songs I kind of made, and it kind of got some traction, got a good bit of plays. I think he even made a video to it and everything. I think at the peak of this song, I probably had about like maybe like 300K or something like that. But that was like the first song that I realized that was kind of like a hit. So kind of getting started on that. Um, I think the first example or the first thing that you can kind of notice to find, like if you're an artist or even if you're a producer, to know if this person is hit material is before they before they reach to the point that they've made a hit. As far as let's start with a number first. All right, so I think the number that you should hit before you kind of like, all right, this might be a hit is 250,000 plays. So I think about a quarter of a million plays is probably like the peaking point of where it's like, okay, this person has the potential to make a hit. So 250,000 plays is kind of like your starting point, your starting threshold number. Anything lower than that, that's kind of like a person kind of leading up to having that potential. So I'll give you some other examples. So when I first started working with Fawny, Uno, Playboy Cardi, and all of them, young bands like D Savage, Elsie Levi, um, like everybody that I've recorded or made a beat for, and we've made a song together. I would say before they hit a song that hit 250,000 or a quarter million, I think the kind of the numbers that you need to start seeing are like your it would start off with like once you start hitting repetitively 10K, anywhere from like 10K to about like 25K. That's kind of when you start, if you can consistently put out song after song after song and you're hitting anywhere from 10K to 25K guaranteed every time you drop a song. That should be like one type of little sign that lets you know, hey, I have the potential to make a hit. Or if you're a producer, hey, this artist has the potential to make a hit. I think that's kind of like that starting point. So it begins with having a consistent set of numbers. So like I say, consistently putting out songs that hit anywhere from 10K to 25K. So once you kind of hit that point and you realize as an artist or as a producer, hey, this I'm making regular amounts of plays on these songs. Like I can guarantee myself getting about 10K plays or 15, 20, 25K. At that point, you kind of want to start promoting differently and looking at your content differently. So at that point, I would start paying for promotion, because if you're putting this material out, it's getting 10K, 20K, 30K, whatever the case may be, on every single song, and you're putting out full length projects. At that point, you need to definitely be looking at monetization for your content. Monetization will start getting you some money. You'll start getting paid. You'll start getting receiving checks in the mail monthly, or checks in your PayPal, or whichever which way you get it. So that's kind of where I would start there. That should be like your minimum threshold, 10K to about 25K. So once you start kind of consistently getting that, you want to monetize your content. You want to monetize it as far as monetizing on SoundCloud or whatever streaming platforms you're using. The next thing you want to do is make sure you put it on streaming platforms to get paid. So a lot of people think SoundCloud plays and iCloud, or excuse me, SoundCloud plays and Apple Music plays and Spotify plays are going to correlate the same. So I noticed when I first began, and I noticed with even other artists as they were making songs and we were kind of getting some traction and making hits together, I noticed that you may get 10 to 25K on SoundCloud or whatever your platform is that you begin. But once you start moving and branching out to different platforms, that's when it begins to the numbers don't begin to add up and match. So the reason for that generally is because when you initially put out everything on SoundCloud, your whole fan base is on SoundCloud. When you put things on Apple Music, that's really honestly a totally whole different fan base. Same thing with Spotify or any of the other platforms. Those types of those types of platforms you kind of need to push and promote a little bit differently. So I notice artists would use things like a tree link is what they call it, where they put all the different links. So you can have Spotify, iTunes, what else do you have? iHeartRadio, like all that stuff. That's when you want to put it on those platforms. You're not going to generally get the same amount of plays on your start off platform as you do on those other platforms, right? And that's not a problem. That's kind of how it starts off, how it begins. So I'm actually noticing that with my YouTube videos in general myself. So I notice I don't get nearly as many plays on YouTube or views on YouTube as I do on SoundCloud. So when I look on my SoundCloud page, I'm getting like 20, 30K plays a week on SoundCloud. On my Spotify, I get like 30, 40, 50K monthly listeners. So even though I have those type of numbers on those platforms, they don't necessarily correlate over to YouTube. So it's very different. So I noticed on my personal YouTube account, obviously like this one here, the people that are watching my videos and commenting, those people don't actually, I noticed, aren't typically followers of mine. Like they are new people. They're new viewers. They're new subscribers. They're not necessarily hip to who I am as far as Milan Mix Beats that's on Instagram or SoundCloud. They may literally be finding me for the first time. And then there are people that obviously do know of me and will put in the comments, hey, I've been waiting for you to make beats and tutorials like this and whatnot and give out content. So that's the first thing. You want to look for a range of between about 10K to 25K. Not to look down on anybody that's getting less than those plays, but I think between that range is where you can kind of begin putting your content out on different platforms. You should do it in the beginning process, regardless. But you should, start aiming to look at different content, and putting it on different platforms, and kind of trying to grow as organically as possible. So you want to be able to push that link, the different links that you have. You want to be able to push and promote those. So your home base should definitely be like whatever you started off at. So if you started off on SoundCloud, really push and promote that, but you really want to make sure that everybody else is listening to those other platforms, so that what you're getting on your home type of platform, whether it be SoundCloud or something, you want to make sure you're getting those numbers other places. So let's use 10K for example. Let's say you regularly get 10K on SoundCloud and you put out a 5 track EP. So now that's 50K plays that you're getting on that whole entire track or EP, right? But let's say you're doing that and then you get on Spotify and iTunes as well. Now you got another 50K and then you got another 50K for in total of getting 150K plays. Now you're kind of really getting some numbers and you're starting to really get attention, because you got to think 150,000 different people listening to your content, or 150,000 replays or plays, or however it works. Sometimes some platforms, they only count one play no matter how many times you listen to it. This only will count the first one, and then some platforms will let you repetitively listen to it, and that will still count as well. So once you kind of like start honing in and getting everything all together, that's when you should start really pushing and promoting these different links. This is when you should go ahead and start paying for promotion. I mean, I think you should pay for promotion in the beginning anyway to kind of help yourself out. But if that's not something that's within your budget, but then kind of wait till you start making a little money off of it. In the beginning, you're not going to make a whole lot of money, but it's a starting point. So the next kind of step after that is, once you've gotten that 10K to 25K range and you start to kind of get a little higher and you're getting more than 25K regularly, I think the next range should be between 25K and about, I'd say like 100K, right? So let's say you've been doing this for a while, your music's really going, and now you're getting anywhere from 25K to 50K. So regularly you're putting out stuff and it's hitting 30K, 45K, 25K, whatever in that range is, and you're getting that on multiple different platforms. Now you're really starting to kind of see a little bit more money coming in. That's where you'd want to take that money that you're getting and actually push and promote those songs and pay for that, so it all comes back tenfold. So that's where you'd want to go on like your Instagram and use the promote buttons, turn it into your account to a business account, and go ahead and start paying for promotion, because those promotions actually really work. They actually really do help. So for example, let's say normally on your videos, when you post them on your page, let's say you're posting a teaser, whether you're an artist or a producer, because again, this goes for both, right? Let's say you go ahead and you start to promote it, and you normally are getting like, I don't know, like 20K views whenever you post something on there, but you're normally getting like 50, maybe like 45K on different platforms. You'd want to go ahead and start definitely pushing and promoting that. So you'd want to pay for whatever it is that you want to pay for the amount. So like, let's say you've got a budget of $500. You'd want to put $500 on whatever promo or post that you're promoting. Maybe you want to put it on one particular post, which I don't suggest. But let's say you put some on a post, and then you pay for some promotion on Twitter. You pay for some other promotion on Facebook, because a lot of people sleep on Facebook and don't realize that you can actually make a page on Facebook, and you'll get a lot of followers and views that way as well. Um, but let's say you've got this $500 and you're promoting it on different platforms, on your Spotify, your or SoundCloud, your Apple iTunes, and all that good stuff. That's once you start kind of pushing it and promoting it, and you're getting further and further up. You want to keep, every time you get a check, you want to continue to take that money and invest it back into yourself, so that it continues to push and climb and climb and climb and climb, right? So I would say that the next range is definitely that 25K to 100K. But let's say you've steadily been within that range, but you haven't quite hit 100K. I think once you hit 100K, that's kind of like your breaking point. That's kind of like at the point where it's like, all right, so now we're really getting numbers. So back to some other examples. So when I started working with Fawny, Cardi, and now all of them, and I noticed that the songs were getting 100K, this is where, if you're an artist, you absolutely, definitely, 100% want to start copywriting your stuff. You want to do it long before that. If you're a producer, you want to go ahead and copyright your beats long before that as well, because that will also help you. And I'll speak on that a little bit later on in the video. So you want to start copywriting this material, because at this point, now you're kind of getting numbers to where I think labels, whether they're small indie labels and larger labels, are beginning to kind of look at you kind of like, this dude's making noise. Like he dropped the song, it just hit 100K. He's got a whole library of songs. To, let's say you at this point you've posted, I don't know, 20 to 50 songs at this point, and all of them range from a 10K range. But at this point, you're probably not getting 10K on songs anymore. If you're hitting 100K, 9 times out of 10, your songs are ranging anywhere from like 50K to 100K at that point. If you hit 100K, I've noticed that you're probably almost guaranteed 50K to about 100K in plays, right? So let's say you've gotten that traction going, and you're starting to push and pump out numbers like that. Once you hit that 100K, I think a lot of people really start kind of taking you more serious. So even like with artists, that's with artists, that's kind of when producers start kind of getting like, I don't know, starstruck, like they think they're about to get rich and famous. But I don't think people realize 100K is a good amount of plays, but money wise, you're still not making a whole lot of money. So once you kind of hit that range and you're consistently hitting 100, that's where that range between 100 to a quarter million, that 250,000 plays. That's where that when you're in between there, because that's where I was getting a lot of attention and a lot of numbers from Fawny and Uno and Cardi and Young Bands and everybody else, D Savage, like all of them. Like once I started kind of hitting that range with songs, it was just like people would, as a producer, people would start to come to you and be like, hey, I want to get some beats. I'm trying to shop with you. That's where you're really going to start making your money as the producer, is from people hearing these songs that are making these high numbers, and them wanting to buy beats from you. That's where you're really going to begin to see like, hey, I can actually make some pretty decent money from this. As an artist, you still need to be like, that's when you want to kind of charge. You want to be charging for features beforehand, but at that point, you're going to start seeing probably more people hitting you up for features, people wanting to work. So you hit 100K, and then there's another artist that he also hits 100K. Now you guys collaborate together. You guys are getting like anywhere from 100 to a quarter million plays because you've collaborated together. Now his fan base of however many followers he has, and your fan base of however many followers you have come together, and now you're kind of mixing in with different fan bases. So that's like back in the day when you had the Splur gang, whereas Cardi, Uno, and Fawny, right? and they were all together, and they were, formulated Splur Gang. They used all three of their different fan bases and their different type of styles to kind of mesh together and make a sound that was cohesive. Like all three of them sound similar to me. Those three right there could have been something along the lines of like Amigos, in my opinion. I think they could have, if they would have kept with that and continued to deal with each other and work with each other, that would have been almost like a underground SoundCloud Migos. So, so now sit to my next point as far as the hit part. So like now you've gotten that range between 100K and 250K. Now that's kind of like you're in your hit range, in my opinion. So like once you start getting SoundCloud numbers, my best examples are always SoundCloud because that's what I know the most of. Once you start hitting that range, in my opinion, you're kind of making hits. You're considered a hit maker at that point. When people are consistently playing your songs and you're getting over six figures, no matter what they range from, that's when you really need to start pushing and promoting and going even harder, putting out videos, keeping content going. That's when it's starting. That's when it starts to be like a snowball effect, right? And you got to always hit while the iron's hot. So you want to keep that momentum up. So you want to keep moving and progressing and getting better and better, putting out more content. So now to give you an example of, I gave you an example of when I made my first hit with Backseat Shawty. Now I'll give you an example of when I found an artist and I believe that this artist had the capability of making a hit. So the artist that I'm talking about is Smooth Dinero. So that's actually why I started working with him. So when I first met Smooth, the way that I actually found his content and his material was because I was just surfing through SoundCloud. He popped up as a related artist, but I heard this song and it had 300 some odd K on it. But he had, a decent amount of followers. But I could tell that 300K song and his other songs, that was like the hit in comparison to his other songs. I don't remember the numbers that his other songs were making at that point. They were doing fairly well. But when he hit that one particular song had 300K, and that's what kind of made me be like, let me look at this artist, because the simple fact that, let's just say for numbers sakes, he had the 10K to 25K range on all his other songs, but this was that one song that stuck out like a green thumb. That's when I kind of hit me, and I realized, like, low key, that this is a hit. Like, this is a hit song. This is because the number difference between the 10 to 25K range and then jumping up to 300K on a song. I think the song was actually called Tokyo, so you guys can actually go back, look it up. Kind of sounds like a Travis Scott kind of style song. It sounds way different than what he's doing now. But the fact that big range in numbers, that's kind of like going from 100K, the 25 or the 250,000 plays, and then all of a sudden you drop a song and it hits like a million. You know what I mean? So that was kind of how I perceived it and I saw it. So I was like, hey, this cat has potential to actually make a hit, because he's made an underground SoundCloud hit, in my opinion. 300K is not any like number to sneeze at. That's a lot of people. So that's an example of a person that you can see that has a hit potential. But those little gems you can actually see that while you're in the 10K range and the 25K, like you can see that person has that potential. Because let's say a person normally gets a few hundred plays, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere they drop a song and they hit that 25K range, or in between that 10K range. That's a significant jump from what they're used to seeing. So when you see things like that with an artist, or as a producer, you're making beats and you see that the artist has done that, then you need to kind of start putting in your head, like, this artist may have the potential to actually make a hit. So let's continue to work. Let's build a sound and cultivate something, and build from there. So that's my example of that. So at this point, once you kind of are making numbers like that, you're consistently working as the producer. You should always, in the beginning, always copyright your beats. As an artist, you should always copyright your vocals. It's kind of hard to sit there and copyright the whole entire song. You can as the artist, but the difference is, if you don't have any type of agreement saying that you as the artist own this material for the beat, you can't necessarily copyright it. Because let's say you copyright it, you make a hit, a label comes and solicits to you and says, hey, we're interested in buying this song from you, and we're interested in signing you, and put some money in your pocket. Let's say that happens, but you don't have any type of agreement with the producer while you copywrote this song. You copywrote this song, but you didn't copyright that you have the right to actually use the beat and everything. You see what I'm saying? So as the producer, if you're dealing with an artist and you go ahead and copyright the beat is copywritten, number one. Number two, the artist has copywritten their vocals. So now together you guys can get together and be like, hey, I got my portion copywritten. He's got his portion copywritten. You both own the rights. Because I think in another video I used the example of a VIN number, right, for your car, or no, the title to your car. So you copywriting it is like having the title to your car. But in this case, the copyright is like the title to the song or the title to the beat, right? So you want to make sure these things are copywritten. So at any point in time, if somebody is contacted, whether it be the producer or whether it's the artist, somebody has the title, quote unquote, to the song to be able to say, I own this. So if you want this, how much are you willing to pay? Because I own it. If neither one of you have the copyright, it's kind of like the song is stuck in limbo. And that's what happened to almost every single song that I had involving Cardi, Fun, well, every single song, all those songs, every song that is involved with me and those artists, that's what happened. That was the reason why it was so hard to get money. So when I have people in the comment section are always trying to roast me about, but yeah, I bet you didn't get paid, blah, blah, blah. Well, Cardi and them didn't get paid either because nobody owned the copyright at that point in time. So to roast me doesn't really make sense, but that's just the people that have they have a lack of knowledge of how this actually works. So you want to make sure you want to copyright things and get in the habit of that in the beginning. So there's a process you go through, you copyright it. It takes sometimes, it takes several months, you'll get all your stuff back. It kind of sucks that it takes that long because you'll never know your song's going to be a hit. That's why it's just best for you to go ahead and copyright everything. But at the same time, that does cost. So when I was talking about promoting your music and stuff, you need to allocate a budget for copyrights and things like that. You can wait and not copyright it necessarily and wait until it blows up, but then you have to wait for that process of getting all your copyright back and the copyright numbers and going through that process. And again, it takes several months. So let's say the song is out, it blows up, gets millions of plays, and it takes 3 to 4 months later before you actually can say, I own this song and I've copywritten. But by then the song has either done what it's going to do, or either some type of label has come and tried to solicit to the artist or the producer to buy this song or buy this beat and go from there. So I would highly suggest that artists begin copywriting their content and then producers go ahead and copywriting their beats as soon as possible. So that way somebody has the golden ticket of the quote unquote title for the actual beats and the actual song, right? So the next thing, the biggest thing that you need to make sure you do when you get a hit as a producer, this is what helped me out the most. As a producer, the best thing that I ever did was every time a song dropped, I immediately snatched the song off of the internet and I posted it myself, right? Now, you're going to have artists that are going to be butthurt about that because they're going to, for whatever reason in their mind, they're going to feel like you're taking from their plays. So I've had artists literally DM me and say, hey, take the song down. It should only be one link and I want all the plays to go here. But they say that in the sense of, I want to make sure all the plays go into one place. But if you notice, the one place is more so going to benefit them. You see what I mean? So why would it matter that me as the producer, I post the song as well and I get plays on my portion of it and you get plays on your portion of it? It's not hurting anybody because either which way, all the plays are going to be counted as one. So when you do a copyright, let's say I copyright a song and it goes on YouTube, right? And let's say 100,000 videos of this song are on video. So there are on YouTube. So there's literally 100,000 different versions of this song on YouTube. Whoever owns the copyright of that is still going to get all the plays of all of that cumulatively. It doesn't matter how many people post it or even if they post a portion of it. So you want more people to take that song, snatch it, and just throw it everywhere all across the net because that's how you're going to get more money. You're going to get more plays like that. So like you have those you have those SoundCloud pages where they'll repost songs or re-put them up there and re-upload them. Like what was that one that Fawny and all them was using? Terra USA. So like Terra USA, right? For example, they would post songs on Terra USA page and he would get like 300,000 plays. Fawny would post it, he'd get 400,000 or 500,000 plays. I'd post it and get 20, 30, 40,000 plays, right? That's a lot of plays once you add it up and you start getting that number. Now imagine you got these smaller pages that are doing the same thing. You've got it all across the internet, all across YouTube, all of that. If it's copywritten, it doesn't matter who posts it because you own it. Again, that's that title that I'm talking about to your vehicle, which is quote unquote the song or the beat, right? That's why you want to have that copyright, because when people post it, they could theoretically, if there is no copyright, they could put it up and start monetizing it because their page may be monetized at that point in time. But if you own that copyright, you can flag it and have it removed, or you can set it to where you get the pay for that because the song and the beat is copywritten. So a lot of people don't realize that. So when people ask me, "Hey, did you get paid for all these beats?" Technically, yes and no. The artist did not pay me, but am I getting paid? Absolutely yes, because these all of these plays are actually coming towards me. So that's what you want to do as an artist. That's what you want to do as a producer. You want to make sure that you have the copyrights. You want to make sure you know how to spot an artist or even spot a producer, because producers out here doing numbers too, to know whether or not this person has the potential to make a hit, or if there is something to where you guys can grow together and create this environment that you become hit makers. So I think that's what really helped me out in my personal journey as a producer was me making sure that I got my credit for my content and it was all put out there properly, and definitely reposting those songs. And again, artists are going to be butthurt about it. They're going to give you every excuse in the world why you shouldn't do it. But you, as the producer, you should absolutely take those songs, have your version of them, get them copywritten. Because if you own the copyright and the artist doesn't, that means if the artist gets signed and he tries to say, "Hey, here goes this song that I made. It's got 10 million plays. I want to get signed. I want $1 million of signing." The label is going to contact them and be like, "All right, cool. Well, who owns this song? Do you have the copyright to it?" The artist is going to say no, and then at that point, the label will try to push and promote the song, put it out there, and make it bigger and bigger and make it grow. Right? Well, they're going to finally realize, hey, this song is somebody owns this song. This song has a title, quote unquote, meaning that this song is copywritten, and who is it? And you would want to be that person as the producer or even the artist. So when they come and say, "Hey, this song is copywritten, we have to buy it from you. What do you want for it?" And at that point, that's when you can go and make your actual put your bid in for whatever you want for it. So that it gives you more leverage and more power when you have the copyright, because now the label has to come to you and solicit services from you and be like, "Hey, we want to put this song out there. It's got 10 million plays. You own the copyright. What can we do to make this song for you to make this song bigger and blow up, because we want to make some money off of this." And that's where you as the producer can be like, "Hey, I want upfront, I want 10 grand for the beat or 5 grand, whatever you feel like your beat is worth and what you want for it. I want this much up front, and then I want this much royalty payment after the fact." And you have room to negotiate there. But if nobody owns the copyright, the label's going to swoop in as fast as they can. They're going to try to copyright it because nobody owns it, and then the artist is going to sign the contract saying, "Hey, I own all of this information," even though that's not true. Actually, I should make a video explaining all of this so you can get a better in depth. So that might be my next video topic. But if you don't have the copyright and the artist does not have the copyright, that label is absolutely going to swoop in, get it copywritten, put it all out there, and then they're going to be like, "Hey, we got this song from you, Milan Makes Beats. We know you produced it. Here goes a little bit of chump change. Take that." And you as the artist, here goes a little upfront, a little bit something, something. And now both of you've made money, but the person that's making the bigger amount of money is the person that owns the copyright to the song. So that's why it's best for artists and producers to really mesh together and get together and be like, we're going to copyright this song. I'm going to copyright my vocals as the artist, and you copyright the beat. And now we both own what we cumulatively did together. So when this song is picked to be bought by a label of some sort or something like that, now you have more leverage to be able to say, "Hey, we have ownership over this. We own this content. This is what we want. We both want X amount up front. We both want X amount of percentage royalties. And as the producer, I want to be able to I want to write in my contract that you guys will help me get other placements and work with other artists." So that way you can kind of continue this cycle, because that's one thing you can do. You can have that added into your contract as the producer, that the label will be required to help you get other placements so that you can continue this cycle. And if a label is smart, they're going to be like, "Well, Milan Makes Beats made this song and got 10 million plays on it. He made another song and got 4 million plays on it. He made this song and got several million plays on it. We probably need to keep this guy around because he seems to be a hit maker." Just like they're going to look at this artist and be like, "Well, this artist got 10 million plays on this song. You got 4 million plays on that song. And do you see what I'm talking about? That gives you more leverage when you actually own the quote unquote title, which is the copyright to the beats or the song. So that's where artists need to get together and producers need to get together, create leasing agreements, contracts, exclusive agreements, artist agreements, whichever one is going to work for you. But you absolutely need to have some type of agreement between you as the producer and the artist, because even though you guys may be cool and say, oh, we're like this twin, thick and thin or whatever, through thick and thin, that when you get money involved, trust me, take me for an example. When you get money involved, people fold, people show their true colors, and people switch up and change. But whatever you guys both agreed on that paperwork and you both signed it, it's going to stick no matter what happens between you and that person, whether you guys fall out or whether you continue to grow together like a successful duo or a successful collective should grow. So that's really all I have for you guys today. I don't want to hold you guys too long. It looks like we had about 30 minutes for this video, so I'm hoping it's not too long for you guys, but I think this will be a really good video for you guys to check out. I do think at the next topic I will be talking about more so in depth about copyrights and leasing agreements, producer agreements, and kind of how those things work so that you guys can get a better understanding of that. So again, the range should begin between 10K to about 25K. After 25K, you'd want to look at 25K to about 100K. But once you hit that 250,000 song and that it's hitting a 250,000, that's when you as an artist, an underground artist, is probably have the potential to be making songs that have millions of plays. Because again, if you have a song that you made 250K on, and another artist has that same type of plays, and they have 250K cumulatively together, y'all should have like close to 500,000 plays. But because you're gonna have two different fan bases and people are gonna be like, oh wow, this is a great collaboration, that song is really gonna run it up, and that's how you get your million plays. Another example of that is what's the name of the song that I did? My first day in the trap, where it's got Fani, Uno, and Mars 90. Because I think that was actually the very first million plays that Chinatown and I got together. We produced that beat, all three of them got on it, and the combination of me and China, us two, and then the combination of the other all the artists on there, that was what created our Capsule Corp very first 1 million plays, and that's still to this day one of my favorite songs that I've actually produced. Just because I remember that's one of those songs where I noticed this type of little trend and how I kind of figured out the cheat code on how to get million plays. So again, thanks guys. Thanks for checking me out. This is Milan Makes Beats. You can follow me on all social media as Milan Makes Beats. If I got it, you'll find me. If I don't, you won't. So you guys drop some comments in the comment section. Hit the thumbs up and the like button. Dislike it if you dislike it. But either which way, just interact with the page. And just drop some comments. If you have any more questions, put them in the comment section. If you like the video, let me know what you like. If you dislike the video, let me know what you dislike. Either which way, just interact. And I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you liked it. And again, you guys got to work together as artists and producers. There's a lot of back and forth with artists and producers. I feel like a lot of artists feel like they're going to be outshined by the producer. And that's actually another video topic that I got for you guys. So you guys keep tapping in on the videos. Appreciate all the support and all the love. Again, it's Milan Makes Beats on all social media. So just, continue to watch the videos and the content. Let me know what you want to see. And we'll go from here. Thanks.